Assalamu alaikum everyone. I welcome you all in the third session of Bridging the Gap webinar. The topic of today's session is innovation, performance excellence, and change management. I'm Sajal Khan, and the Education Manager North in ACCA. The purpose of these series are because many of our students are not having the practical knowledge that they require at the professional stage, specifically in strategic business leadership. So what we have done for you to bridge that gap between the practicality and the knowledge that you apply in your exam papers, we have requested the trainers from the industry to come on board with us and kind of make a viewpoint for you how the practical world works and how the knowledge that you are studying right now in your examination is going to be implemented in the industry. So I have today with me Sayyid Asmatullah. He's FCCA and he's ACA. He's partner at Yusuf Adil Chartered Accountants and he has been working with the firm since 2009. He has more than 19 years of experience in professional services, both internationally and locally. He had previously worked with KPMG Ireland Dublin office in Financial Services Audit Department. He has exposure of major sectors including banking and finance, oil, gas, telecommunication and development and public sectors. He's a fellow chartered accountant and he is a fellow member of Association of Chartered Certified Accountants. Thank you very much, Asmat, for giving us the time today. And I will hand over the presentation to you now, and you can brief the students about how the practical world works, specifically when we're dealing with innovation, excellence, and change management. To the students, just one last thing. If you have any question, just write them in the question box. And if you have any other fellows who are about to enter into a professional stage or who are going to give strategic business leader, please request them to join this webinar. Or if they are unable to do it right now, you'll be given the recording later on. So Asman, all this session to you.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, and thank you very much all for joining this session. Yes, thank you very much for a very elaborative introduction. My name is Sayyid Asmatullah. As I just wanted to make sure that can you see my presentation? Can you see my screen? Can someone confirm that?
Asman, I can see your screen and I'm really sure they all will be able to see it as well.
Okay, perfect. Thank you. Thanks for the confirmation. So today I'll be just talking about a topic which is called innovation, performance excellence, and change management with respect to the strategic business leader. This is my quick profile, which has already been discussed. So I think I don't have to further discuss this, my profile. Today we'll be discussing a couple of topics. Just before I start this presentation, I've just selected, because in the interest of time, we only have, say, around 60 minutes or maybe a little bit over than that. I'll be discussing on the organization structures and internal relationship, collaborative working, outsourcing, shared, and there are some various types of the collaborative working, and the impact of the innovation and disruptive technologies on new product and processes. And then the last one would be the managing strategic change. But one thing, a disclaimer from my side is that this topic is just to give you a practical know-how of the information on the knowledge which you usually get from your teacher. It is not a substitute for your own studies, so you need to work hard on that. This is to give the practical knowledge and the real life attributes of those knowledge, and share my own experiences with that. Going forward, organizing in this, the first thing is that I'll be discussing how organization structure and internal processes and their relationship can reorganize to deliver a strategic, a selected strategy. And then we'll also be discussing the implication of collaborative working, organization processes, what are the outsourcing, what are the different types of types of the organizations and how it works and how it serves the global businesses worldwide. Thank you. Now, you all know what is organization change, which is very important. And organization change could be because of many things. Like, for example, what is change of leadership? For example, if I give you example that every 4 years, 5 years, the institute, the organization, they select their CEOs, they select their directors. So every person has its own strategy, its vision. So if there is any change in leadership, that might change the mission and the objective, or may also impact on the strategy, or at least on the processes, how it works. Change in technology is one of the other part, very important these days. For example, if some organization was working some process in a manner, but because of the technology, it definitely might require some change. Then there are other, if there is any change in any process or vision, or if there is any other internal change because of the people, because of the processes, or the factors, even the raw materials or the resources, that will also lead an organization to change. And then why they change? What is the need for change? The first thing is to succeed and grow. I mean, I would not change, a company would not change for worse. They would definitely go, they would have some positive objective to enhance their profitability, to enhance their growth, to enhance their market share. That is the usual motive for change. And why to change, how to change is another question. That there is, I mean, change is not a one day event, and it should not be a one day event. It should be properly planned, and you should need to understand. We'll be discussing what are the various methodologies and various strategies to change. Before going to that details, what are the change and how do we change, and what are the innovative and innovations impacting the change? uh, we need to understand first what are the organization structures. Before going into that details, I mean, you must have seen different organization. अगर आपने नहीं देखा, एक सिंपल, मैं आपको just want to tell you organization. एक, there could be an IT company. What it does, it is very easy now, it's very correlate. जो आजकल हम बड़ा सुन रहे हैं, entrepreneurship. A small entrepreneurship company might have only few employees. If they have any few employees, it means their structure is very simple. Their environment is very simple and dynamic. The entrepreneur, and it would require the strategic apex. What is strategic apex? It requires strategic decision making by the owner or whoever is the head of that. So it is direct it requires direct supervision. But on the other side, if there is a machine bureaucracy is simple but static organizations. कि आपकी, मैं आपको उसको कोरिलेट कर देता हूं कि एक से, if there is, जो मैंने पहले एग्जांपल दी कि there is a person who has just developed an app. उसके लिए उसको एक दो बंदे चाहिए, अच्छा इंटरनेट चाहिए, और कुछ डेवलपर्स चाहिए. सो फॉर हिम इट्स वेरी सिंपल टू मैनेज दैट. जो भी डिसीजन मेकिंग होंगी, उसी वक्त वो साथ में बैठा होगा, he'll be making those decisions and everything will be done. But on the other side, if I'm just talking about machine bureaucracy, is sort of organizations के जहां पे it more works on a static, एक regulated काम है, एक रूटीन का काम है, वो आ रहा है और लोग अपना इनपुट दे रहे हैं और वो काम हो रहा है, दैट्स इट. वहां पे आपको बहुत ज्यादा, जो वहां पे आपको जो इनपुट चाहिए होता है, वो टेक्निकल लोगों का चाहिए होता है. तो वहां पे मैं आई वुड से गवर्नमेंट ऑर्गेनाइजेशंस या पुरानी जो corporations हैं जो specific एक चीज बनाती हैं, so that is a machine bureaucracy. So अब now वहां पे decision making कौन करता है? वहां पे आपको बहुत ज्यादा ground level पे you probably are not required to make a lot of strategic decisions. मगर on the other side एक और entity है, say मैं उसी example को थोड़ा बढ़ा देता हूँ. Like मैं आपको बढ़ा देता हूँ कि एक examples है, we came to education. What is that? ये young ये कौन सी organizations होती हैं? They are organizations like IT based organizations होती हैं, because every day you are having a new app, every day you are having a new program, every day you have to look at the others कि वो क्या कर रहे हैं, what you are doing, what the people are working, so you'll have to be more vigilant, and core operating or support staff जो है, that's more involved in the decision making process. So ये Mintzberg organization configuration बताता है आपको कि how the structure impacts the environment, the internal factors, the key building blocks, and the key coordination mechanism. अब now मैं आपको एक दो पाकिस्तान में I've just got the organization organograms of two entities, जब दो बिल्कुल different entities हैं. One is working in IT, this one is for the IT, but so very large IT company, and the next one is oil and gas. तो मैं आपको structure का difference बताता हूँ. Both are listed companies, both are working in Pakistan, both are listed. So we see president CEO yahan pe. I'm just ignoring these two first. So on the top we have president and CEO. This is the normal structure, it works. And then we have EVP technology, EVP operation, SEVP. SEVP is senior executive vice president, so they are the head of those. And then we have SEVP commercial, and we have SEVP commercial, and we have a development and the other. And then uske niche you would see SEVP के नीचे at times you would see VP और उसके बाद GMs. मगर एक operations में आपको सिर्फ दो EVPs नजर आ रहे हैं बजाय one. So and then यहाँ पे अगर मैं commercial और development की बात करूँ, corporate development की बात करूँ, then you would see EVP marketing अलग है, sales अलग हैं, customers अलग. So this is a structure which you need to look at these, which is impacting the whole structure. Now I'm going to another one. This one is relevant to an oil and gas sector. You can see the oil and gas sector में वहां पे क्या है? वहां पे you would see managing director here. They don't have a president, they have a managing director. Managing director is in a position of CEO, okay? And then you would see a lot of GMs, GM finance, this general manager, GM operations, GM exploration, GM resources, GM BD and completion, GM procurement, GM HR, and so on and so forth. And you would also see head of the internal audit. अब यहाँ पे the most important thing is that we usually look at this structure from managing director to below. In this case, from president to the head of the operations. Yes, these are more operational and executive staff. What we miss in an organization structure is the red one, the top one, which is shareholder and the owners, and then the board of directors, because the president reports to board of directors and board of directors reports to the owners. So whatever the strategy, whatever the mission, whatever the objective, it comes from the shareholders to the directors, and directors it translate to the president. So that's how it works. So you need to understand. But on the other side, if you look at it, you would see that in other small organization you would hardly see one or two or three people. working organization, it would be very lean and easy to approach structure. So now, how a structure of an organization can be influenced? What are the factors? Strategic objective क्या है? You have to understand what is your strategic objective. Strategic objective, for example, अगर मैं profitability की बात करूं, या एक entity ये हो सकती है at times वो कहती है they don't care about the profitability. वो कहती है कि नहीं, मुझे profitability से मतलब नहीं है. My objective is that I should be seen everywhere in the country. So the objective, तो वो कंपनी और दूसरी कंपनी जिसका ऑब्जेक्टिव ये है कि नहीं मैंने प्रॉफिट ज्यादा कमाना है. So there are two different things. Do you understand? पहली वाली ये करेगा, that will be the first one which is more concerned with the markets, increasing market share, कि वो मार्केट में हर जगह नजर आऊं. You would see कि वो मार्केटिंग एक्सपेंसेस उसके ज्यादा होंगे, सेल एक्सपेंसेस उसके ज्यादा होंगे, एक्सपेंशंस वो कर रहा होगा. मगर दूसरी एंटिटी would be more focused on profitability increase. So it depends कि अगर what is your strategic objective. Agar strategic objective is different, then obviously it will impact your organization, and it even impacts your organization structure as well. What is the environment of the nature of the environment? अब मैं अगर आपको एक बात कहूं कि there is an old पुरानी सी organization ले लूं, और वो पुरानी सी organizations हैं, उसमें staff is very old, it is very bureaucratic, और उसको मैं कहूं कि यार आप दुनिया का बेस्ट ऐप बना दें, which is more on the working on pictures, on uploading on areas, on new hotels and that stuff. तो क्या वो बना सकते हैं? सवाल नहीं पैदा होता. The nature of the environment, how agile is that? How flexible is the environment? How dynamic are the people? What is the culture? That impacts a lot. उसके अलावा अगर आप 50 लोगों की बजाय सिर्फ 2 यंगस्टर्स जो फ्रेश कॉलेज वो हैं उनसे विद सम एक्सपीरियंस उनको कहें कि guys, I need to have one of the perfect app, they'll spend day and night. Within a month or so they'll come up with something that may not be perfect, but they'll come with something. So this is back. What is your future strategy? Again, just a minute discuss here. Diversity matters a lot. At times you would require diversity in some organization, which पे नहीं चाहिए होती है. You need monotonous sort of culture, or the people and the skills. And what is your size and growth? What is your size? अगर मैं कहूँ with एक entity है और with very limited resources, with very limited growth, मैं चाहूँ कि मैं पूरे पाकिस्तान में अपना नेटवर्क फैला दूँ, it's not possible, because I have to increase these two to reach out to the whole Pakistan. अच्छा, एक अब now the next question is how to match your strategy with the organization. Very simple कि देखें, if your growth strategy is about the penetration. What is penetration? I hope you do understand. Penetration ये है कि जैसे मैंने पहले कहा कि you actually want to penetrate in the market whatsoever, तो उसमें आपको एक simple structure चाहिए. Penetration का मतलब ये है कि आप जाएं and then market में अपना share बढ़ाने की बात करें. मैं आपको अगर एक टेलको, फॉर एग्जांपल मैं यू फोन की बात करता हूं. यू फोन हैज रफली at this stage it is less than 15 to 17% of the market share. अब अगर मैं यू फोन को कहूं कि what you need to do for the market share, so their structure needs to be in a manner, it should be very simple. That is one of the aspects. उसमें बहुत सारी expansion भी होती है, technology भी होती है, prices भी होती है, but I'm just talking about the organization structure के हवाले से suitability की बात कर रहा हूँ. So the structure will be simple. Why? Because आप गए, for example, मैं एक market है, I'm sitting in Islamabad, and there is a very good brand like student biryani. Yes, for example, student biryani in Karachi. if we don't have any branch in of student biryani in Islamabad, why? Because they might have not thought it. But if they come to Pakistan, to from Karachi to Islamabad, उन्होंने ब्रांच खोली, बट अगर वो एग्जैक्टली वही टेस्ट लेके आता है, देन दे हैव टू सी कि वो सेल हो रही है, वो मुश्किल है, and they might face, because the people in Islamabad, Lahore, and different city have different taste. तो you'll have to, अगर मैं ये करूं कि सिंपल स्ट्रक्चर इसलिए होना चाहिए कि वो वहां पे जो ऑर्गेनाइजर होंगे, ऑर्गेनाइजेशन के द ओनर और स्ट्रेटेजिक लीडर्स होंगे, they'll assess, is there any acceptability for us in that market? अगर वो नहीं है, then what you need to do is that you have to decide fast, respond fast. Decision making should be fast enough कि आप कहें कि अच्छा ये प्रोडक्ट नहीं चल रहा, give them this feature, ये प्रोडक्ट नहीं चल रहा, change it. So you need simple structure और आपको बहुत ज्यादा वो चाहिए. मगर अगर now I coming to the other, market and product development है, if I'm अब market develop कर रहा हूँ या फिर product develop कर रहा हूँ, वहां पे usually the structure is bureaucratic. You would require more decentralization is required in that stage, क्योंकि आप different product की बात कर रहे हैं, एक product उन product के owners को you'll have to give complete ownership. When they have the ownership, they'll have complete access of resources and decision making for them. फिर अगर next is diversification in a stable market, diversification in an unpredictable market. So in दोनों में different would be a different type of people, different type of the organization would be required. In a stable market, you know कि अगर मैं ये दो variables हिलाऊंगा, market कैसे respond करेगी, I'll be ready for that response and I'll bring in something else to that product. But मैं एक बिल्कुल all together नई product लेके आ रहा हूँ, so उसमें the organization structure would suit is would advocacy कि वो trial and error, you try this thing, it didn't work, change it, bring something else. If it also doesn't work, partially works in some areas, it doesn't work in some areas, then you'll have to go and see how it works. Acha, next is collaborative working, outsourcing, shared services, and business partnership. Now we are talking what is collaborative working. The concept of collaborative working is now the entities are moving from boundary to a boundaryless organizations. कैसे? Example, पहले क्या होता था कि एक organization है, if they have to hire HR, they would have their own HR. If they have to hire कोई accounting, IT services, they would do their own IT services. वो उनके payroll पे होता था, they would be reporting to them, and you had to source for everything. But now it's not the case anymore. Infrastructure जो आपके पास available हैं, जो लोग हैं, उन्होंने क्या किया, उन्होंने the innovations which we'll be discussing in few minutes, they have given some very great options that you might not want to have. अगर आप एक छोटी organizations है, I know a lot of, we are an accounting firm, so we are providing a lot of accounting services to the organizations. They don't have their CFOs, they don't have their HR, they don't have their tax people. So in a boundaryless organization, it removes the barriers to growth. Why? अब मैं आपको before there are different types of the collaborations. The first is called outsourcing. What is outsourcing? Outsourcing is that you hire certain specific resources you pay them. What you are doing, you are hiring for services. You are not hiring people. For example, IT services या accounting, you understand the accounting services better. अब एक organization है, our client, their client, they have some limited invoices every month, say 100 invoices, vouchers. They have 100 vouchers. They have a system which generates invoices. वो हमें क्या कहते हैं कि बजाय otherwise, मतलब उनको जब कंपनी बनती है तो obviously they would see, okay, you need people from the you would need people from the HR, from the operations. You would also need people from the accounting. अच्छा, accounting में क्या करें? Yes, you have to hire an ACCA or a CA. You need another hire another accountant who can prepare the data, another accountant who can do the tax filing. उन्होंने कहा नहीं, sorry. अच्छा, पहले की हमने देखा, it will cost me say 50,000. It's a junior accountant. The other was slightly senior. I would have to give say 100,000 more to the other one, and the other one is senior. A CFO should be a senior guy. So दो लाख तो मुझे देने पड़ेंगे. So in total their monthly खर्चा would be around say 3 लाख के आसपास. But that is not the only expenses they are incurring. उनका टैक्स भी देना है उनको. You have to give location, office. वो AC भी लगाएंगे, उनको आपने चाय भी देनी है, उनके ट्रांसपोर्टेशन का भी इंतजाम करना है, उनको आपको हेल्थ इंश्योरेंस करनी है, उनको देयर आर लॉट ऑफ थिंग्स. तो देन a small company, वो they would come to an accounting firm. Okay, see, I have this problem. I don't have that much resources at this stage. Because my operations are very small, so I cannot hire full-time people. So what do? I give them solutions. Okay, you don't have to hire. I'll give you the same. Say for 1 लाख रुपए आप मंथली दें, एक बंदा होगा जो आपको हफ्ते में every week will come to your office, और आपको ऑफिस में आने की जरूरत नहीं है, वो हमारे ऑफिस आएगा, अपने ऑफिस में डेटा कलेक्ट करके आ जाएगा. They'll do all the bookkeeping. वो बैंक रिकंसिलिएशन करेगा, वो आपके वाउचर बनाएगा, वो आपके फाइनेंशियल स्टेटमेंट वीकली मंथली रिपोर्ट्स बनाएगा एंड आपको प्रेजेंट कर देगा. आपको, यू डोंट हैव टू, आप विल बी बेयरिंग, कौन वी, the accounting firm will be bearing their medical, will be bearing their other expenses, their traveling, each and everything. So what you need to do is you'll have to give us just 100,000 rupees. So why? अच्छा, वो क्यों देगा हमें? क्यों? Because it has reduced cost for them, reduction in cost. Okay, and it overcomes the shortage of skills. कि अब एक बंदा अकाउंटेंट जो मेरे पास है, फॉर एग्जांपल, वो 3 जॉब्स पे काम कर रहा है, 3 अलग एंटिटीज पे काम कर रहा है, तो आपको उसकी जरूरत नहीं होगी. आउटसोर्सिंग कैन बी फ्लेक्सिबल चॉइस. आप फर्ज करें आपको पसंद नहीं आया, आपने कहा कि नहीं यार, ये बंदा इज नॉट, ये सर्विसेज मुझे पसंद नहीं है, या फिर ये आईटी सिस्टम मुझे पसंद नहीं है इवन. सो आप मुझे कहेंगे, ओके सॉरी, आई डोंट वांट टू कंटिन्यू विद दिस. ईदर यू प्रोवाइड मी these requirements, the further requirements, further resources. I want to go from Oracle to SAP. आप मुझे SAP दे दें. Then it's very easy. मगर इसके कुछ downfalls भी हैं. You will be depending on the service provider. Life, the risk would be bit of the confidentiality, but that can be addressed. Difficulties in agreeing and enforcing contracts. At times आप बंदे के पीछे भाग रहे होते हैं, वो आ नहीं रहा होता. So these are the things which you need to which are downfall. अच्छा, similar there is examples क्या हैं? Accounting and bookkeeping, which is very common in our profession. So I'm more focusing on accounting because we are all accountants and we'll be accountants. So we need to understand that is one of the job. There are a lot of companies we are doing millions businesses, not million, but rather billions of businesses. I know them. They are sitting in Pakistan. And they are doing accounting for international entities, and they are earning good money. Even individuals आजकल तो मतलब you might have seen Upwork and Fiverr and blah blah blah, many other sites. Kids are working, they are doing very well. Apart from that, human resource and payroll services, information technology services, software development services, and design services, etc. are the examples of outsourcing. Then shared services. Acha, shared services are slightly different than the outsourcing. You need to understand the difference. देखिए, आउटसोर्स में मैंने क्या किया था, मैंने कोई बंदा हायर नहीं किया, ओके मैं मार्केट में गया, आई टॉक टू, मैंने एक सर्विसेज हायर की, ओके मगर शेयर्ड सर्विसेज आर डिफरेंट. उसमें होता ये है कि डिफरेंट ग्रुप ऑफ कंपनीज, मोस्टली दैट इज डन अंडर वन ग्रुप. फॉर एग्जांपल एक ग्रुप है, मैं आपको unfortunately there is some confidentiality issue. I may not be able to name the companies. कि ग्रुप है उसकी 5 कंपनी है. फॉर एग्जांपल one is working in real estate, the other is working in construction, the third one has the technology company, the fourth one is in telecom. अब उन्होंने सोचा कि यार why should we have 4 different CFOs, we can have one CFO. वो एक CFO कर लेते हैं, उसकी कॉस्ट शेयर कर लेते हैं. why we should have 4 different जो Oracle का सॉफ्टवेयर है या SAP अकाउंटिंग सॉफ्टवेयर है, why can't we have one? And then we, अच्छा marketing, why we should have one marketing head? We can have why should have more than one marketing heads? Why we can have different one marketing head, we can share their cost and we can ask people उसके साथ subordinates काम कर रहे होंगे, वो सबके लिए काम कर रहे होंगे. So that is the difference between shared services and an outsourced entities. Again, difference क्या है? Outsourcing में the service provider is outsider, it is not part of your entity. Shared services में you hire people, you don't hire services. Then you with the other entities collaborate कि हाँ ठीक है, कुछ ये एक CFO है, उसकी आधी कॉस्ट मैं बेयर कर लूंगा, आधी आप कर लें. बहुत सारी entities I have seen which they are it is why, because it is economies to the scale. shared बीच में जो shared services में organization boundaries remove हो जाती हैं, so they can work as a one unit, तो flexibility भी रहती है and their interconnectivity रहती है. Then business partnership is another sort of collaboration. Isme there are different natures. You can go for the partnership, you can go for the venture capital, you can go as a silent partner. There are various other types of, yahan pe you are co-ownership, co-operational responsibility, financial risk, rewards, all the same hain, but people work together to bring in some shared services on this. Now I'm getting to, I think we are, I have to look at the time. I think we still have 15 minutes or so. So impact of the innovation and disruption technology, which is very important topic and very interesting for me as well. So what is innovation? Innovation comes from a transformation, basically. Transformations when the idea that has been transformed into practical reality. For example, a product, a business concept or activity in any marketplace or product or growth for the organizations, which may bring new profits and growth for the organizations. मैं इसके examples में आता हूँ, but you'll have to bear with me. Before that, I'll also, before I go into the details, I'll also go for the disruptive technology. And what is disruptive technology? Disruptive technology relates to instances where the technology fundamentally change. देखिए, innovation ये है कि मैं innovation की बात करता हूँ. For example से मैं I'll try to, it is sort of the same thing, but there is slight differentiation between these two. Innovation is an umbrella term, and disruptive technology is part of it. Let's put it that way. Innovation ये है कि example is कि you had a phone, sorry, disruptive technology, you had a landline, कोई mobile phone नहीं था, okay, so we had a mobile phone, so this is a disruption. You would see landline का business खत्म हो रहा है, घरों में लोग use नहीं कर रहे, but they're all on the mobile phones. That is a disruptive, that is an innovation, but innovation is a disruptive technology. मगर उसके साथ साथ innovation क्या है, आपने बना दी, अब 2G था, then we transformed 2G from 3G, 3G from 4G, now we are looking for the 5G. I believe from 2 to 3, 3 to 4 is bit of the innovation, but from 4 to 5G, that might be called disruptive, because it's going to change everything. It's even going to change the fiber optics and that one, but we have yet to see how it brings in, how when it comes to the practice. At the increased rate of technology, why innovation increasingly seen as important for the strategic success? Why? Because it increased the rate of technical advances. For example, Nokia को compare करें for iPhone, Nokia is nowhere now, they lost it. It increased the competition. Chinese phones, like, they're very good phones, they're bringing all technologies with comparison to iPhone, so technology is posing a risk, innovation is posing a risk to iPhone now कि वो अपना जो innovation है वो brings in a manner कि वो increase customer expectations. अब पहले मेरी एक्सपेक्टेशन नहीं थी कि मैं वीडियो कॉलिंग करूं मोबाइल के लिए, बट नाउ मेरी एक्सपेक्टेशंस है. पीपल आर गोइंग फॉर 100 प्लस गीगा मेगापिक्सल्स, दे आर एक्सपेक्टिंग कि वो आपको यहाँ बैठ के 100 गीगा पिक्सल्स दे. अगर किसी फोन में नहीं होगा, वी वुड नॉट बाय इट. there is the because one phone have brought it in 100 plus, तो बाकी सारे वो एक्सपेक्ट कर रहे हैं कि अगर नया फोन आता है तो if they even don't want it or they don't want to quit it, but because of the customers competition or expectations, they have to do it. अच्छा, कुछ चीजें जो है how यहाँ पे I would like to discuss that how it impacts, how the innovation impacts the new product, new services, and also supports the organization strategy. For example, innovation on technology may close the gap between the organization current strategic position and desired position. जो मैंने आपको पहले एग्जांपल दी थी कि एक एंटिटी है, लाइक फॉर एग्जांपल यू फोन का मार्केट शेयर आज बाकी 3 टेलीकॉम्स में सबसे कम है. अगर वो चाहती है कि वो बीट करे जैज को, विच इज अराउंड 40 प्लस मार्केट शेयर है, ये सारे पब्लिक नंबर्स हैं, दैट्स व्हाई आई एम कोटिंग. So you can see the details in on the website. So अगर उसने 14-15% से मार्केट शेयर बढ़ाना है, so it has to enhance its products and processes को innovate करना है. They have to bring in to some product or technology कि जो वो के बाकी यूजर्स सारे छोड़ के they follow the U phone और उसको है. They have to bring in new launches. इनोवेशन करेंगे तो ऑब्वियसली न्यू लॉन्च, न्यू प्रोडक्ट्स आएंगी. एंड इनोवेशन ये है कि से इफ यू हैव प्रोडक्ट और वो काम छोड़ देती है, इट फेल्स, देन व्हाट्स नेक्स्ट? यू नीड टू डेवलप अनदर वन फॉर दैट. एंड देन इनोवेशन इज आल्सो इंपॉर्टेंट फॉर कार्स. फॉर एग्जांपल, कोई प्रोडक्ट व्हिच माइट हैव एन एज, से एक गाड़ी है, for example, we will be discussing that example as well. which was on पहले गाड़ियां डीजल पे चलती थी, and then got the petrol engine. That was a boost. And now electric की बात हो रही है, electric cars की बात हो रही है. Tesla is one of the big brand in here. We'll be discussing further. यहाँ पे some examples of innovation and disruptive technologies. I would give the first one is Amazon. What is Amazon? Amazon is a $1 trillion company, market cap. Revenue is beyond 280 billion back in 2019 and 18. Even it has crossed in this pandemic more than what they had in the previous years. They don't have any Amazon. They only have their own line. It was an entity which started their businesses as books retailer, but online. So now they are one of the biggest company in the world on retail. 1 billion, 1 trillion, it's 1000 billion, it's 1 trillion value market cap. And again, you might have heard about Alibaba. So the technology, just we discussed earlier, the technology gives your competitor this edge as well. They can copy your product and they can bring in with new features and they can beat you. That's what the Alibaba is doing. Then again, one more thing is branchless banking. Easy Paisa, every second person now has the Easy Paisa account. It is a proper banking account. They can deposit money, they can withdraw money, they can even invest money. उसकी वजह से health benefits हैं. Health benefits कैसे हैं? They've covered with the insurances and a lot of things. Then ride sharing is the example. Ride sharing, I would say this is innovation. It is beyond innovation. It is technology. पहले क्या होता था कि आपको घर से बाहर निकलना है, आपको टैक्सी को कॉल करनी है, टैक्सी आएगा, वो पिक करेगा, फिर जब कॉल करेंगे वो होगी नहीं, फिर वो मिलेगी नहीं. Now technology has removed these old barriers. It is easy to call. It's available. You even don't have to call. You just open the app, you see, and you can track it very easily. You in your family can track it. It is low cost. It's available everywhere, anytime, and anyone can add in. So you don't have to have a yellow car to run in the ride sharing. Like Kareem and Uber are the Tesla की मैंने बात की. It is cheaper to run. No maintenance cost है. Better for the environment है. It has even better horsepowers than the big racing cars. I was surprised to see that their momentum and their torque is better than even the big racing cars. And they were competing in Bugatti and the other big names of racing. So this is the difference. And you don't have to spend millions of dollars. You just put $100,000 and you can buy a Tesla. Video streaming is another Netflix. You all know Netflix. That is another example. Q. It is cheap. It is available to everyone. Device compatibility is there. It's very user friendly. अब जाएं जहां भी बैठें, अब डाउनलोड करें, स्ट्रीमिंग करनी है, जहां भी देखें, पिक्चर क्वालिटी इज गुड, the parental control is there, each and everything is there. You can use on your phone, you can usability, you can use on your phone, you can use on laptop, tab, you can use on your TV. And for accountant, what is the most important thing which you need to understand? How it is changing our profession. Disruption is changing. Digital currencies are coming. We all know the bitcoins. वो जो बिटकॉइन पहले $0.5 का भी नहीं बिकता था, and last week तक prices goes up to $42,000 one bitcoin. Ethereum, their blockchain. A blockchain is a ledger system which we don't know. You need to understand data analytics, e-audits, remote working, remote stock take and technology driven stock takes and stuff. So there are a lot of things which are impacting our profession as well. So we need to be tax savvy as well, to see the market changing. And now question comes, okay, there are a lot of innovations, technologies, and a lot of things. The question comes, how to manage the change? There are four sort of changes. One is called transformation change, realignment, incremental, and big bang change. Transformation is you are just completely transforming the organization. इस पे अगर हम, just give me a second, you cannot change, you cannot transform unless you change the culture of the organization. तो यहाँ पे existing organization is a paradigm shift for them. आप एक कर रहे थे, now they'll be. मैं example बता रहा हूँ, say Amazon is the example. Amazon was selling books, now it is the biggest retail shop. So this is a transformation from A to B. Selling books is one thing, selling anything in the world is something else. Realignment is in the next level change. It doesn't involve some fundamental reappraisal of central assumptions and beliefs. आपको कल्चर चेंज करने की जरूरत नहीं, आपको स्लाइटली ट्यून इन करना पड़ता है. फॉर एग्जांपल कि यार मैं पहले आई वाज यूजिंग इन ऑर्गेनाइजेशन, इफ यू आर यूजिंग ओरेकल, वन है, हम उससे मूव हो गए हैं सैप पे. सो यस, both are the accounting softwares, and both are almost the same. So I'll have to just develop and give some skills to my staff, and then we can achieve this. Incremental changes are, it takes a long period, step by step, आहिस्ता आहिस्ता change होती है, but it results in a different organization once complete. तो आपको step by step एक ये ट्रांसफॉर्मेशन की एक स्लो फॉर्म है. you have a 10-year plan, you have 8-year plan कि हमने A से B पे जाना है, from telco to technology, or from one thing to other. So this is thing. Similarly, big bang change, it is just one of the most difficult one. It is a reactive change, कि आप एक चीज सेल कर रहे हैं and then you realized कि this product is no longer preferred by the market. So what you need to, आपको फौरन दो ऑप्शन है, either you change yourself with a big bang change, but or there is an option कि आप उसको slowly change करें, or you just leave the market, do something else. अब there are various strategies. I'm not going to discuss many things, but just want to highlight one model, which is called the Levin model. Kurt Levin developed this model. It is very simple. It's a three-phase, three-step unfreeze. First one is the unfreeze. It is simply like unlearn what you have learned, what you are doing, just unlearn that. That's it. मैं एक काम कर रहा था, for example, I was doing something on उसको मैं आपको ये एग्जांपल देता हूँ कि just stop or keep doing that, but be flexible to change. So उसके लिए you have to be prepared कि okay, अब आपने मुझे A से B पे लेके जाना है. यहाँ पे for example, I was using manual working, but now I'll be using some optical bar or laser technology or something else. Then तो मैं क्या कहूँगा, okay, मैनुअल से अब हमने जाना है लेजर टेक्नोलॉजी पे, मशीन टेक्नोलॉजी पे. देन पहले तो मैं आपको कहूँगा ओके, यू जस्ट अनफ्रीज का मतलब है यू जस्ट गेट इन अ रेडी पोजीशन and try to understand क्या आपकी प्रेजेंट सिचुएशन क्या है, give them some learning knowledge, उसके बाद then change process है itself, it's a long process. I not कि उसमें आप पहले बताएंगे प्लान करें, रिसोर्सेज प्लान करें, जो 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 चेंज करना है वो चेंज करें, डिफरेंट फेजेस ऑफ द चेंज, हाउ टू चेंज, when to check back whether we are on track, are you getting the desired objectives or not, and then refreezing and stability. Once you reach to the point B, you have to refreeze और stabilize करें, फिर वहां पे जो tweaks है उसको वो करें. So this is a 3 steps model: unfreezing, the change itself, and refreeze. Acha, I'm not there are a couple of more things quickly. I think we have I'll take 5 more minutes and then we can have certain we can have questions answered from your side. I'll just take you a case study. Case study क्या थी कि General Motors was established in 1908. At that time, it was the sole car maker in the region. 1920th, उसके बाद world का largest manufacturing company बनी. Okay, and they had tremendous success under the leadership of their chairman Alfred Solon. Then क्या हुआ कि the company rose to dominate the auto industry in America, and brands as Chevrolet, Pontiac, Buick and Cadillac, ये सारी उन्होंने डिफरेंट की. एंड देन क्या हुआ 1980s में जर्मन गाड़ियां और जापानीज गाड़ियां आना शुरू हुई अमेरिका में. दे वर नॉट रेडी फॉर दैट चेंज. व्हाई दे वर जर्मन सो जनरल मोटर्स, जीएम मोटर्स की गाड़ियां बहुत बड़ी थी. दे वर expensive in terms of money, in terms of buying, and expensive in terms of running cost. 8 लीटर इंजन, बड़ी इंजन, and then बहुत ज्यादा मेंटेनेंस कॉस्ट एंड दैट स्टफ. फिर जर्मन और जापानीज जो आई वो सस्ती भी थी गाड़ियां. टोयोटा, जर्मन के BMW, मर्सिडीज वो आई. उन्होंने जब compete किया, they were far better. They didn't require that. They were faster, they were better. So GM Motors they start losing their market share. और 1980s में they had almost lost their half of the market share and just to 1/3 of the market share. 2008 में ये सिचुएशन हुई कि जनरल मोटर्स had to file bankruptcy in 2009. So वो कंपनी जो 1908 से 1920 में 80 साल पहले was the best company in the region, had the 80% of shares, was filing the bankruptcy. अच्छा, हुआ क्या उसके बाद? What are the forces which impacts, what were the changes which impacts the company during the year? Number 1, external forces. External forces क्या थी? Toyota आई, they bring in cheaper cars, good cars. The market company shares declined very quickly. The company market share dropped to half. So that is something. Internal forces क्या थी? The company was facing high wage cost. क्यों? उन्होंने बंदे हायर किए थे, गाड़ियां बिक नहीं रही थी, they were not getting the revenues, so obviously they were having serious trouble, or they were paying a huge cost. Excuse me. उनकी cost per hour was $74, जबकि Toyota was paying only $44 per hour. So minimum capacity उनको 80% पे continue करना था ताकि वो profit में आए, but unfortunately there were no major sales. That's why उन्होंने नहीं किया. And then हुआ क्या इसके साथ? फिर जनरल मोटर्स ने कुछ चेंजेस की. उसके बाद ये हुआ कि implemented following changes and re-enter the automobile company industry. क्या चेंज की? नंबर वन, द फर्स्ट थिंग दे चेंज वाज द कॉस्ट कटिंग. उन्होंने एक्स्ट्रा रिसोर्सेज चेंज किए, उन्होंने प्रोसेसेस चेंज किए. उन्होंने कहा यार व्हाई माय पर्सन इज टेकिंग सो लॉन्ग टू प्रिपेयर one car, why they are preparing, why cannot I shorten the processes? They bring in innovations. उन्होंने लोगों को ट्रेन किया. they जो यूनियंस है उसको खत्म की, और वो सारी चीजें करने के बाद उन्होंने प्रॉफिटेबिलिटी लेवल बढ़ाए. That's why they become in profit again. स्ट्रक्चरल चेंजेस की, उन्होंने बहुत सारे रिडंडेंट जो स्टाफ था उनको निकाला, लेयर्स को कम किया. जो मैंने आपको कहा था, they came to a quick. देखें जितने नंबर ऑफ लेयर्स होंगे बिटवीन द टॉप मैनेजमेंट एंड द लोअर मैनेजमेंट, कि आप एक मैनेजर है, फिर उस मतलब सीईओ है, उसके नीचे डायरेक्टर हैं, डायरेक्टर के नीचे सीनियर मैनेजर हैं, फिर मैनेजर हैं, फिर असिस्टेंट मैनेजर हैं, फिर से सुपरवाइजर्स हैं, देन यू सी अ लॉट ऑफ वहां पे गोइंग. बट इफ यू हैव ओनली 3 पीपल, कि एक बंदा वर्कर है, उसके ऊपर एक मैनेजर है, एंड देन इज द हेड ऑफ डिपार्टमेंट. सो इन दिस केस इट इज इजियर to make a decision. So that's what they did. They removed all the layers. Culture change kiya inhone, and then they came back to there was revamped the strategic organizational changes, and the result, the company is now improved and is again in the market and is competing. So this is I'm just trying to reflect your studies with the practical experiences, and I'm open to the questions. If you have any, please let me know. I'm available.
Yes,
Thank you.
we have few questions if you can answer them quickly. Let me ask you them one by one. Just give me a moment. Okay. So the first question is from Mohammad Anas Khan. He's asking, an experienced CEO directors have core knowledge about the current organization. Isn't there a drawback of change management, hiring costs, probation costs, and losing the benefits from the experienced one?
Can you just, sorry, what's the exact question? What about the CEO?
Yeah.
So is the first part.
Let me say it again. He's basically asking that the change management, don't you think it's a new cost? Because when you are not doing it with experienced CEO directors who have already the core knowledge of the business of the current organization, and you're hiring a new person, so the hiring cost, probation cost, and losing the benefit from the experienced ones, don't you think the change management is the costly option?
It depends. Yes, change management could be very costly at times. It depends on the change and why you want to change. Say if what is my strategic thinking? What I'm actually, if I want to go to get to the market share from say 15% to 40%, and the existing staff is not getting me there. So obviously, yes, it is costly at times, and at times it escalates even more than the plan. So that's the reason you'll have to assess what is the change. For every change, you need to do the cost benefit analysis. If the change is viable for you and viable for the organization, and the overall cost of change is higher than the benefits, which it will translate in long term, then you'll go for that. Otherwise, you would not.
Perfect. Then he's again asking, please explain difference between president and chairman.
Chairman is usually for the board. Say we have a board. There is a board chairman. So the board of directors have their own chairman who is leading the board. But president is usually comes as a CEO position. It is a CEO is called either, sometimes it is called MD, sometimes it is called, it depends on organization. In a public sector organization, you would not see a president designation. You would see MD or president. You would not see CEO position in public sector. But on more corporate and multinationals, you would be looking forward to see more CEO positions. it is just the different designation and names they are using for the same position.
Okay. Then Muhammad Numan is asking how much culture of one organization affect the success of career, and do we need to consider the culture of one's organization before applying the job?
Yes, it's very important. It's very important to if you are applying for a job, so you need to understand what sort of a culture they have. Even I even look at the when I mean if you are actually talking about applying a job, not even if I am applying for a bidding, like for a contract, I look at the culture of the of that organization. It matters a lot because tone at the top is very important. If the tone at the top organization is clear, it is responsive, it is caring, it impacts on all on employees. And if it doesn't, then you must look at the culture. I would say it's very important.
Okay. Then after Numan, there's another student, Shahnawaz Mirza. He's asking, how do you see future of business models, teams, setups, and work from home concept development post-COVID? Do you see the flexible teams and working solutions being the norm in the future?
I mean, if you would have asked me that question, say a year ago, I would have a different answer. But now today, it is very different. I mean, I remember the time when in our profession, even being partner in a firm, we could have never thought that somebody would be printing digital audit reports, and the team will be sitting at home, and the partner will be sitting at his own home with their kids on the desks, and then they'll be reviewing the financial statements of a client. So this is reality now. I mean, I was talking to a friend yesterday. He is partner in KPMG while I was working in previously my previous employer, KPMG Ireland. He's principal. The good thing is he's also from Pakistan. He's sitting in Islamabad and he's signing audit reports of the entities registered in Ireland, and he's working from home. He's extended his stay for 2 more months because of the lockdown in Ireland. So that's how it works. So it is this is the new model basically. Yes, you need to tune into
And
that.
yeah, he's also asking that the opportunity for innovation and new products in the accountancy world as a result of new working norms. So, what do you think? What will be the innovation in accountancy specific?
If you have seen my one of the slide I've just mentioned in that slide, there are a couple of things coming in our technology, and it will be definitely impacting is impacting. We should adopt those. One is the blockchain. I would say blockchain is one of the important. Every accountant at least should know what is the blockchain. Blockchain is a ledger system that will remove, probably we have not used it, we have not seen it practically. Probably that will remove all the ledger systems. That will just change the Oracle, SAP, and the other accounting systems. So if that comes in, then the role of the auditor would definitely change. That is one thing. Similar, there are the data analytics, data mining tools. Probably that's impacting that. You need to understand what are these. You need to use them. You need to master them. So rather than that we should not be seeing these a different thing as our competitor. We should consider that these as a tool to enhance our own skills, to utilize and exploit those new technologies. I would be happy if I can provide assurance to a client, the audit assurance. If while spending only a couple of hours rather than months, why should I not? Why should I put a lot of people on that and resources? Why, if I'm getting 100% assurance just using a tool, which is where the human error and the sampling error is less? So why not?
Great. And this student has a question from your slide. Market or product development structure is bureaucratic structure. Can divisional structure be used? Similarly, can bureaucratic structure be used for diversification in stable markets?
Yes, to some extent, but it would be difficult. It is more, I would say, bureaucratic structures are not agile. They're not more flexible. You would probably have to go either for ad hocism or divisional structure rather than the bureaucratic structure. So it might work, but it depends on but the chances are it might not work. So you'll have to go on the you'll have to be more flexible. You need for new products when you are if you are going for new products or you're developing new markets, you're going for innovations, you are going for trial and error, then the decision making must be just understanding the decision making must be very uh, fast and very decisive.
Okay. Shahid Khalil is asking, what are your three suggestions for ACCA member to remain relevant in this time of dynamic changing business environment?
Shahid, that's a very good question. You need to be tax savvy. Frankly, that time has gone. Then when we learn one thing and then we say, okay, I've done ACCA, so that's good for me for life. No, 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 no. That time has gone. You have to learn different skills. As I mentioned, these skills are if you want to be relevant in accounting firm, you need to be like BI, data analytics, data mining. I would say for you, IT. Why don't you go for the IT audits? Why don't you try to learn the IT skills? And then blockchains, which I mentioned. Go for EAP learning. You can. What the data has shown that accountants working with IT department are one of the best say mix. So you can add to their advantages to their skills to your own advantages. But for that, you need to know what they are doing, and at least you should have some good familiarity to this.
Great, thank you. Then there is a comment by a student that the most recent example of not adapting to change is Nokia. So he was referring to Nokia as whatever he inferred from all of your conversation. Thank you very much, Asmat, for joining
Yes.
us and giving such a valuable experience with all the students. And I hope they've learned a lot from you. Any last comments for them?
My I mean, the last comment is that you need to be relevant all the time. That is important. Two, I always say two things. Number one, you need to be relevant in the market. How can you be relevant when you have the most innovative, the most new skills? That is one thing to be relevant. And then you have to have an edge from the others. If you become ACCA, so your competition is with ACCA. So you need to be better than the other ACCA. So you are chosen whether you are doing business, whether you are doing in going for the firm. Literally, without naming now, we when I interview a lot of people, mostly ACCAs and CAs, and last week I hired say 6 steps, seven rather eight yes, total 8 people. So I tell them, okay, what extra you can offer. I have 300 CVs. Literally, I get 300 CVs of CAs and ACCAs every season, every 6 months. So what can you offer to the firm? Why should I hire you? What extra you have? Every 300 people they have this degree. So what you have? What extra you can add? So that's you need to understand, and you can have your own edge. You can depending on your interest, and there is no shortcut. You need to work hard. That's simple.
Thank you so much, Aswat, for such valuable words. Thank you very much, students, for joining. And if any of your peers are going to give any of the professional exams, specifically strategic business leader, please ask them to view the recording of these sessions. And there are more of these sessions coming up, so sign up for them as well. All the very best, and thank you very much, everyone. Allah Hafiz.
Thank you. Thank you. Pleasure. Allah Hafiz.